My name is Payton D, and I am a member of North Dakota United. I wanted to be a teacher because the strongest person I knew was one of the strongest people I knew was my mother, and she was a teacher, and she taught me a lot growing up. And I just wanted to follow in her footsteps. And my grandpa was a gym teacher, greatest gym teacher in the world. Just seeing the relationships he built with so many people. If I had a football coach or a teacher who didn't build that relationship with me, I wasn't going to work with them very well. There's no difference between coaching and teaching. They're pretty much the exact same thing. You have to figure out what works with each student or each athlete and how you can coach them and how you're going to teach them differently. Well, this athlete might, this guy might be a lineman, this guy's a running back. You don't coach them the same way. It's like in a classroom. Your one student might be great at English, bad at math. You don't teach them the same way. They have different ways of learning. To this day, my grandpa died a couple years ago, but to this day, people that I don't even know that who I am because me and my brother look alike, and they're like, "Oh, your grandpa was the greatest person in the world." So I'm like, "Oh, nice." I hope someday I build them relationships with my students so that they can later on have stories like that maybe, and just to know that I helped out somebody else and just helping out these students become better people. And I like that. I notice like with myself and other students, like whenever I feel supported, I feel like there's like a weight lifts off my shoulders and I can just go out there and try to achieve whatever I want to achieve, like get my goals, reach for my goals. In the world we live in, sometimes students don't have that outside success, or they don't have at home. They're not getting told that they're doing great on something. They could be getting told that they're doing something terrible all the time. And then for somebody to tell them, "You did great," really just like opens them up and makes them excited about what they're doing. I've had students throughout the years, there's just multiple students come into my classroom and they don't expect a teacher to be, because they see me throughout, like when they're in sixth graders, before they come to seventh and eighth grade, they see me as like the goofy, funny teacher. And then they're like, "Oh my God, he's gonna be my favorite teacher," whenever, I get up there. And then when they get in my class, they realize that I'm tough and I don't take excuses really from them, and I want them to do their best. And some of them don't understand the tough love. But so in the seventh and eighth grade they kind of figure out that I'm all right. Seventh grade, they kind of not like me. And then whenever they get to high school, they finally realize that, man, this guy was really helpful and I liked him a lot. So then they come back and tell me, that they enjoyed my class and they miss me as a teacher. That's a rewarding thing. I want them to feel that there's somebody there who can always be there for them, and they can rely on. Wanting to help out my students is just who I am, and just a normal day. That's what keeps getting me to go back every day, is like just being able to work with the students, because my students are pretty awesome and I like them a lot. If I was telling someone why they should join NDUnited, it would be to tell them that there's so many opportunities for us out there. I also take part with North Dakota United through our book studies that my school offers us and provides. A couple of them have been about like the tribal recognition, like what the tribe's about, where their history is. As teaching teachers, once they come in, about the environment that they're going to be in and what the history is of the children that live in that or go to that school. I always feel like I can call on somebody that I know from North Dakota United and be like, "Hey, what can I do for this, or this?" It's great to have somebody there that'll be willing to help you out with whatever you need help with. I've had many emails where it's like, "Okay, this workshop's happening here. Do you want to go to this?" Or even if I look in the magazine, I can see like I spotted out in the magazine once like somebody I actually knew from Minot was in that magazine. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome." But I think it's great that North Dakota United is doing does stories on teachers, because that's a job that does not get recognition really at all. And it just shows that there's people out there that want to help out and are trying their best to help your students build a better future. My job is to help young adults grow into be grown adults someday, where right now they're in the adolescent stage, so they're going through a lot, and just being able to help them and tell them that this is going to be okay. This is what's good. This is what happened with me at this point in life. You're going to be fine. So just like being a mentor to my students, not even me just being a teacher, it's me to be a mentor to them. And being like that person that can guide them along the way. So that's what I'd say kind of my job is.